Hello everybody, good morning, and welcome to the Rumblin podcast, This Week in Wrestling Reviewed. I'm your host, the Royal Rumbler, and today we got a big one. We got some big ones coming down, such as another former WWE star is coming out of retirement. A new title match has been announced for the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and the Friday Night Smackdown reviews are going downhill. All that and more on this episode of Rumblin Podcast. Okay, everybody, so let's just get started. Another former WWE superstar is attempting to come out of retirement. And the WWE 24 documentary on Adam Edge Copeland has inspired at least one former WWE superstar to consider a return to the ring. SmackDown commentator Corey Graves had to retire from the ring in 2014 due to a concussion history, but while interviewing Edge last month for his After the Bell podcast, he noted that the WWE 24 documentary got him inspired to consider an in-ring return. Graves told Edge, "It was an awesome look, and you and I have gotten along for quite some time in watching it. Honestly, man, it was inspiring, and I would say at 2-3 different points, I went, man, I live in Pittsburgh now. I should go find Miss Dr. Maroon. It just gave me that urge to do all this over again. I don't know whether that's a possibility, but that thought was planted into my brain for quite some time." On Thursday, Graves' brother and pro wrestler Sam Andanos posted a video of himself training in the ring with Graves for the first time in 5 years. The video will only add fuel to the speculation that Graves is looking to make an in-ring return. Daniel Bryan and Edge's return to the ring have given hope to people like Graves, so the old never say never phrase would apply here. People also noted that Edge's comeback has given her hope. And here is, obviously I can't show you the video right now, but here is the audio from his wrestling. Okay, so that was the video. Now moving on to the next one. Okay, now to move on, WWE Friday Night Smackdown overnight ratings are dropping below 2 million viewers. The overnight ratings are in for WWE's Friday Night Smackdown episode from Orlando, Florida at the Performance Center. The episode drew an average of 1.919 million viewers, which is down from last Friday's SmackDown episode that did an average of 2.14 million viewers. This show was once again the lowest rated episode of the series, but the first time that both hours have fallen below 2 million viewers on Fox. This has been a streak of decreasing ratings over the past few weeks. First hour saw it pull in 1.94 million viewers. Hour 2 dropped to 1.896 million viewers. It also pulled in an average of 0.50 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, which was number 4 for the night. That is the same from the 0.50 rating in the 18-49 demographic the show did last week. SmackDown was number 8 for the night among the networks in viewership. The same from last week's number 8 ranking. It was behind American Housewife 2020, Hawaii Five-0, Magnum P.I., Blue Bloods, The Blacklist, and Dateline NBC. among the top shows of the network television. It should be noted that this is an overnight number and the actual rating won't be released until Monday. Now moving on to the next one. Now our next story is from Becky Lynch, as Becky Lynch believes WWE should continue doing more cinematic type matches. The WWE Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch recently spoke with TV Insider about a wide range of topics, including WWE doing cinematic matches. The recent Boneyard and Firefly Funhouse matches that aired over both nights of WrestleMania 36 started the trend of WWE doing more cinematic matches on television during the outbreak of the coronavirus, as there are no fans allowed in attendance of the shows. The Boneyard match saw Undertaker beat AJ Styles in the headliner of WrestleMania 36. Night 1, when the Firefly Funhouse featured Bray Wyatt going over John Cena on the second night of WrestleMania 36. WWE did another cinematic match with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano on NXT, and they'll do soon again with both men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches on top of WWE headquarters. In this interview, Lynch was asked about those type of matches. According to the WWE star, she thinks the trend of booking these matches will continue, but doesn't think every match should be presented in that way. The thing is, it's a crazy time. You have to see what works and what doesn't. The fact that we have the ability to make more cinematic matches, I think it's a testament to how we can adjust and move forward. I think we have to keep going along those lines. Not necessarily every match has to be a cinematic match, but just exploring different ways of dialogue and how we adjust our storytelling to this new reality we're in now. Lynch also spoke about her appearance on Sunday's new season premiere of Billions on Showtime, Quarantine Time with Seth Rollins, and more. You can read the entire interview here, but I'll link that in the description. Now moving on to the next one. Brock Lesnar is getting praise for what he did for Kofi Kingston at Royal Rumble. At the time of Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston in a quick match to win the WWE title on the premiere episode of Smackdown on Fox last year, many fans were upset with the booking decision that was made. The fans had gotten behind Kingston and started his journey of winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 35. Kingston never got a rematch for the title against Lesnar, but rather was placed back as a tag team star. Kingston recently did an interview with Alex McCarthy of Talk Sport, where he spoke about Lesnar and their interaction at the 2020 Royal Rumble pay-per-view event when they competed in the men's Royal Rumble match. Kingston started out by talking about Lesnar comes across on TV as a physically daunting and dominating person. However, he doesn't think Lesnar gets enough credit for having such a great mind for the business. Someone doesn't get to be in the... Hold on there. Okay, there we go. Someone doesn't get to be in the WWE for decades without having a great mind. Kingston continued by noting how on television Paul Heyman is the mouthpiece for Lesnar, and there's this perception that Lesnar has a small part in that role, but in fact, Lesnar does have a big part. He has a very intelligent wrestling mind and understands what wrestling business is in terms of building staff. This led to Kingston talking about his loss to Lesnar on SmackDown was a part of a bigger story told at Royal Rumble. In this match, Rey Mysterio and the New Day teamed up to take on Lesnar, but failed. It turns out that Lesnar put the spot together at the Royal Rumble. If Brock and I had more of a match at the debut of SmackDown on Fox, then the moment at the Royal Rumble, people wouldn't have gotten up as much as they did for it. It was great. It was really big piece of a story having myself in there trying to fight. Then here comes my partner, and now here comes Ray, who had a history with his son. He later noted, it was a lot of great storytelling coming together. Everything is important as a minuscule as it may be. It's definitely a big part of the Rumble, saying me. Randy, all of us, and just kind of banding together and going in there doing what we did. Kingston brought up how the first half of his match was Lesnar dominating until Drew McIntyre threw him out to win the match. If it wasn't built like that, it wouldn't have meant as much for Drew. You think about, okay, why did that happen? Brock did this to elevate Drew to build credibility as a champion. Drew beats Brock at WrestleMania. The pieces of the story were told in the right way. Now, moving on to the next one. Our next story is Florida is not the only state that wants to bring back pro wrestling with fans in attendance. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is ready to open his state, and he hopes to bring in pro wrestling and mixed martial arts events to generate revenue for the economy. The governor made the media rounds this week to talk about his plan to slowly reopen businesses in the state, and his plan includes getting sporting events back. Stitt hopes to bring pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing back to generate revenue through ticket sales. Stitt said that his plan to reopen the state will be carefully done, but there's no word yet on what the guidelines would be for sporting events. As noted earlier, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced guidelines for his state and said that the large sporting events can welcome fans but must run at 25% capacity and should follow social distancing guidelines. This would allow both WWE and AEW to run shows with fans starting on Monday. As of this writing, there is no word on if WWE plans on welcoming fans to attend Monday Night Raw next week at the Performance Center, or if AEW plans to welcome fans in the Daily Place in Jacksonville, Florida, for AEW Dynamite. Of course, there is always a risk of someone being exposed to the coronavirus. So if WWE and or AEW decides to let fans into their show, you can expect strong measures to be taken to minimize those risks. Now moving on to the next one. And next are an updated list on confirmed names released by the WWE. As noted earlier, Curtis Axel is the latest wrestler that has been released by the WWE. Earlier this week, it was also confirmed that Cain Velasquez was also gone. There are people at WWE headquarters that have been released or furloughed, but many of those names have not gotten out because they were not listed on the company website. However, we have compiled a list of names that have been confirmed either through WWE.com or through other means. Here's the updated list. Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, EC3, Leo Rush, Eric Rowan, Sarah Logan, referee Mike Chioda, Eric Rowan, Primo, Epico, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, Rusev, Cain Velasquez, and Curtis Axel. And also, here are some of them that have also been released, such as Kurt Angle, Aiden English, Billy Kidman, Dave Finley, Lance Storm, Sarah Scott Armstrong, Gerald Briscoe, and many, many, many others. That's the updated list for that. Now moving on to the next one. For our final story, Roman Reigns and WWE's relationship does not look good right now. There's an interesting ominism from the latest Make-A-Wish videos from WWE, and this is fueling speculation about Vince McMahon being mad at Roman Reigns. As pointed out on Wrestling Observer newsletter, Reigns is not featured in the latest Make-A-Wish video that shows all the top talent granting wishes. Keep in mind that in the last few years, Reigns was also front and center in those videos. Furthermore, in banners of the WWE website, there is no mention of Roman Reigns and John Cena featured on the banners instead of Roman Reigns. As previously noted, WWE announcers were not told to mention Roman Reigns on TV after he pulled out of WrestleMania. It'll be interesting to see if WWE chooses not to mention the Netflix movie that Reigns will be a part of. Reigns is one of the names listed in The Wrong Missy with David Spade. The movie was produced by Happy Madison Productions and scheduled to be released on May 13th. This would be his first movie role since Hobbs and Shaw. He is likely to get more offers. Now, moving on to our final story. In the big story, former WWE star tells Vince McMahon says that Vince McMahon is in talks in selling the company to ESPN and Fox. Former WWE manager and personality Dutch Mantle is claiming on Twitter that he's heard that WWE is for sale, with negotiations happening with ESPN and Fox. The story has gained a bit of traction on social media in the last 24 hours. I've reached out to someone in WWE about this, and I was told that there have been no talks with ESPN and or Fox about selling the company to them. On the recent investors conference call, Vince McMahon did talk about the possibility of selling WWE Network to ESPN and Fox. However, due to the current economic situation, TV networks like ESPN and Fox are not looking to take major accusations at the time. Over the last few years, McMahon has not shut down the door on possibly selling WWE, but it has more of a never say never type of answer whenever it has to come up in investor calls. So just to be clear, the WWE source that I spoke with said that Dutch's tweet is not accurate and there were no talks right now about selling the company. And that is all I have for you on that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to kick that like button and jaw. Punch! That's if you want to face and ring that notification bell like the match has started. And I'll see you guys next time. Sally. Okay. See you guys.